products since 1998, 99. It was version 4 of Premiere before it went to Premiere Pro in 2000, whatever that was. So I've been using Adobe products for quite a while. I've also used Final Cut, Avid, and yes, those ones. For this project, I wanted to experiment and try a 100% Adobe workflow. So they're not paying me to do this at all. Not that it would make a difference with only my 32 subscribers, but you can change that by liking and sharing. Nor do they even know that I'm talking about this or even going to be doing this project. I decided to give it a try since I've got the Creative Cloud membership, and I've been a huge fan of how Premiere works and their innovation with their software, and it works great with visual effects and motion graphics, which I do a ton of. Let's break this up into the phases: development, pre-production, production, and post. So 4 phases. For development / pre-production, the Adobe product I'm using for that is Adobe Story. I am writing the entire script in Adobe Story. I'm doing all my brainstorming and concept ideas in Adobe Story. It's a screenwriting program with a bit more than just that. You can sign up going to story.adobe.com, and you can get a free account, I believe, and you will have access to a good portion of the Adobe Story features. I've got all of the stuff that I've used Adobe Story for: writing the screenplay, my brainstorming, my ideas. But then when it comes to the script, I can do script breakdowns, reports, all that kind of stuff within Adobe Story. I'm going to be scheduling the days of my shoot and the scenes to be shot within Adobe Story in pre-production. I can't do any of my budgeting in there. In production though, I'll be doing data management where it might not be as we're shooting. It might be end of day, backup to derive, syncing audio if we need to do any audio syncing, and maybe, all depending, doing a rough assembly, just super rough assembly, see what we have, make sure we don't need any pickups or anything like that. Adobe Prelude will be the ingesting program and the backup program as well that will be doing file verification. And for assembly, I will be using Adobe Premiere. And for post side, the entire movie will be cut in Adobe Premiere. In that software, I can do my assembly. It's just like Final Cut and Avid and all that. The other element that I'll be able to do in Premiere is I can then send files prepped in Premiere to After Effects and do any sort of motion graphics or anything like that. Any sort of effects work will be able to dynamically link to After Effects, and I'll get real-time updates on my Premiere timeline. I will have to do a sound mix, so if I don't have money to pay somebody to go do it for me, which roughly you have to assume that's between $18,000 and $20,000 to do a full release sound mix for a low-budget movie. If I don't have that money just to toss it to someone else and have them do all of the sound work, then I will be doing it, or somebody at my facility, meaning my edit bay, will be doing the sound mix, and we would be using Adobe Audition. You can send an OMF file directly from the Premiere Pro timeline, and it pops up in Audition. You can have a reference video, and then there we can do all of our Foley and sound effect editing and create our M&E track, ADR, all of that stuff within Audition. The final part likely depends on the delivery format that's required. In the most recent update, Adobe included DCP exporter, so we're able to spit out a DCP file for projection in theaters. Before that, you either had to pay somebody or you could use a program called OpenDCP, which is an open source version. That is the idea of our workflow. Knowing our workflow early will save us a lot in post in knowing where we need to focus our money and where we need to focus our efforts. Thanks for liking and sharing this video, and be sure to subscribe. Also, I'd love to hear your workflows for your projects, so comment below and I will read up on those and see what ideas and processes you guys have.